Let's see what's up with this. Let's see what's up with this. Can y'all hear me all right? I probably can't. Hold up. Let me hold this a little close. A little close. Hold up. All right, cool. Had to switch hands a little bit. This is first, the first installment of cardio conversations, right? So there's cardio and all that stuff going on and some of the footage, but I don't want to have all of this on the same thing. I like to keep everything a little consistent, a little fun, a little flavorful. No, I'm just joking. I'm lying. But I don't want to have like 20 minutes of this going on in one video, right? So I want to start having things a little bit more diversified. So here we go. I'll talk to you guys. No, this isn't a live video, so if you catch it later, there's no question and answer type stuff going on. There may be questions being answered. That's about it. Currently, today is the 26th. I got a lot that I have to do this weekend. A whole lot. It's going to be real busy. I also, on Saturdays, is when I'll be up in the cardio, whether it be in time and or difficulty. So today, usually I do, before I was doing 20 on a treadmill, did 25 minutes on the treadmill. On a bike, I was doing 15, now I'm doing 20 minutes. And as time goes, it goes faster. Like the first few days, it drags, man. I'm feeling better, feeling a little bit lighter. I don't know, I'm looking different in the mirror, but I ain't really liking what I'm seeing, to be honest. That happens every once in a while. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm looking a certain way, I'm feeling great. But I am getting stronger. This week was a great training week. Last week, oh yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear this song right here. 1991 Kevin Levrone posing routine was definitely great. That's probably one of my favorite routines from him besides 99 at the Olympia. Oh, 2002 was a good one too. So, I don't know, he's rocking in 2000 now. Levrone got a few good posing routines. Now, I remember being young watching, like, mainly in my head, I'm assuming Ronnie did the same thing. Mainly I see Flex Wheeler in my head doing those 3 hours of cardio, walking at a nice slow pace on that treadmill, right? And people, so that's usually how I start my cardio off. I don't run, I walk. Highest incline. My college had had a treadmill that went up to 20 degrees incline. Most only go to 15. But people see me doing that and they say, hey, I thought you were doing cardio. That's not good enough. Why you walking? You need to be running or something. Nah, B. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the adaptations you're trying to get are not type 1 adaptations. You're trying to get those type 2B muscle fiber adaptations, which have the greatest potential for growth, right? But the way you train a muscle can also influence the fiber distribution via training. Now, of course, you're already going to have a certain disposition already, right? So you can't do too much about it, but you can influence it also on the same note. And if you're messing around, running like you're getting ready for the King Grand Prix, you're going to look like you're getting ready for the King Grand Prix. So it is what it is. So I don't like to do too much running. I like the bike. Do the bike too, it's easier on my knees. Lower impact. So I usually split between treadmill and running. Now you're probably looking. Ellipticals. We actually have a recumbent elliptical here, which I will not be using. That's for the older folks, right? Ellipticals let you burn more calories faster, but they are harder on the legs. And me, I like to keep my strength up. I don't like to do anything too extra. Anything that's going to dig into that recovery is what I try to avoid, right? Because you still want your recovery to be as good as it can be. You only want the deficit to be as harsh as it needs to be. If you start doing stuff that's going to ruin and impact your weight training, you're going to lose your muscle, right? That's just how it is. Some people don't care about that. They just want to be fit and all that. That's a little bit different. If those were my goals, then I wouldn't care. But those aren't my goals. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not doing this as a health endeavor primarily. that just so happened to be a benefit of what I'm doing. It's like making music and somehow your brain functioning better. A lot of people don't get into it so their brain functions better. They're just already creative or whatever. So not really the perfect example, but it is what it is. Wow, one thing about the walking on the incline, I noticed that it's funny. So I might keep it in just unlimited capacity, is that my calves actually grow the best from walking on a treadmill on an incline. Rapidly too. Every time I notice, not this year, like maybe 2 years ago, when I went down from like 270 to 237, which is not really the greatest thing I've ever done, but it was the first time I cut in a while. I switched from the treadmill, and that was the first time I actually implemented the elliptical, and my calves, they grew and then they shrank. I lost weight way faster though, but they shrank up, man. So I need to keep those calves loyal. This time, usually I'm like around between, a lot of times I'm in the 240s. Sometimes I get into the 250s. I have to force myself into the 260s and definitely into the 270s. So when I was 270, I did that on purpose. Wasn't pretty at all. Just wanted to see what would happen. So these are cardio conversations. This is just me conversing while I'm doing cardio. If you do not like these videos, don't like them. If you like them, like them. If you have anything you want me to cover, any of them, comment. Okay. I'm not gonna get the full 20 on here. I'm probably gonna do 10 minutes of video content. I will answer questions on video though. If you ask them on any, if you guys are keeping track. Now, if you want me to answer it right on the video, just say that. But if you want me to actually, if you just have a question, you leave it on our cardio conversations. When I do the next one, I will answer those questions and we'll talk about those things. This is the first one, so it's just me conversing, talking, saying what I feel like it. Sometimes I do go a little fast or jump subjects rapidly. All right, so yeah, I'm up a little bit early today. We're gonna go to the, we're going to try a second run at the Cheesecake Factory. Never been there, don't like cheesecake, but I hear they got like other stuff. So we're going to see. People are asking about SARMs and stuff like that. In general, what I think about them, people are asking me that a lot. They're not going to replace the good old-fashioned stuff, man. That's just it. But some of those over-the-counter products that were available in the days of old definitely aren't. So if you feel like trying them, I don't know, try them. But realize you do so at your own risk, because they are not for human consumption, which means a lot of craziness could go down with them. But if you get something that's good, pure, then you can help, right? You're just trying to get that advantage. Do what you can do. It's no different than what's been going on. And we need, the thing is, the crazy thing is people say we don't have long-term use, long-term studies, but we only have that for other things because people were willing to go out and use it. So we kind of need this first, over the last few years, this wave of people to go use them so that 50, 60 years from now, we know what the thing will be. Now, the problem is those of us who are young now will not be young 60 years from now. But we'll have that data going forward. We'll be able to improve, utilize. People are finding ways now. So if you end up being a bad idea 50, 60 years from now, you'll be glad you didn't use them. But if it turns out that there's no repercussions or whatever, maybe you'll regret it, maybe not. But everybody's gonna have to find a way to figure out what it is that they want to do. Now, as far as cutting strategies, right, the main thing I'm always concerned about is my legs. It's just funny because that strength for me in my legs is what drops, but my leg size doesn't drop. So I always focus my cheat days and recarbing around my leg days. Back is cool for me. Chest is cool for me. You gotta lose pressing power, strength. Yeah, usually at some point, but I'm not really worried about that. Some people are overly concerned with stuff like the chest and all that. I'm really not. I can figure out ways around that. I'm always concerned about really the legs. And keep in mind, guys, when you get to a certain point, you start looking different. Like a lot of guys, like I watch Dennis James live a lot because he gets all types of people, right? They ask dumb questions, good questions, crazy questions, questions that if you don't know where they're from and that they're still new to a lot of this stuff, that you would be like, dude, you're asking that. It's a day one question. It's not even a day one question. That's like a first 5 minute question. So he really helps you fill those questions and learn how to react. Sometimes, I mean, he's definitely an honest guy. Sometimes it is laughable what people say, but let you know those people are out there, and not to assume that everybody knows what you assume are the basics. So that's definitely really good. I'm already over about a minute, so I'm not going to be too long on this. But back to my main point. So if you have like a certain amount of fat on your body, right? You may think that you have strengths and attributes and weaknesses that you don't. And then as you come in, your shape may dramatically change. So that's why, like I remember Sean Ray was saying, it's better to actually stay leaner if you're able to, because you can actually see what you need to work on and work on it. So like a lot of people think, oh, I have a thick waist or something crazy, and then they come down, the waist is small. They think, oh, I have a good chest. The chest really isn't, right? Like I'm somebody like, okay, so my shoulders aren't really dominant, but when I come down, they have a lot of pop to them. I don't see that right now. Like you look at me on a regular day, regular body fat, you don't see that kind of shape. So I mean, I work on it because I do need to work on it, but that's just an example. You don't see that. Like you don't see the taper. You don't even realize how dramatic the legs really are. Like one thing for me is that I do have dominant. Somehow I have dominant legs. This is gonna be the end of it. Like my first 2 years of training, I didn't even train legs because I was working out at home and didn't have a way to do it really. So the fact that I end up having that is ridiculous. A lot of people have dominant legs because they just started training them and everything and they grew well. A lot of people have dominant legs because their legs just responded, or they trained the crap out of them. For me, it was just like I literally started way after everything else, but they were already there. That's the thing. Like I didn't walk in the gym without them. I walked in the gym with them, right? Which at the time for me kind of made sense, but now I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any kind of sense. And when I'm up in weight, the disparity is not as dramatic, but when I cut down, it's almost like Rafael Brandao, like kind of how like it's very obvious that he's bottom heavy. Now I'm not putting myself on that level, but it's kind of like that. Like like people notice, like dude, your legs are like way bigger than your upper body. But I've been going way harder on my upper body and draining my upper body longer, right? Same thing even with like arms. My arms are like the first thing people notice, even though I don't think they're that good. I mean, I have decent shape and attachments and stuff, but I don't think they're that good. But whenever I start cutting down and everything just looks way better. But there's things I think are strengths that I would think are strengths if I didn't know are not the strengths. Things that are the weaknesses, like once you know your body, you know the weaknesses. A lot of people, because they're so bulk heavy, right? They want to do that dreamer's bulk. They don't see. And that's why I agree with Greg Doucette saying that, I mean, you don't got to get fat to gain size, but you definitely do need to be in some kind of deficit, not a reasonable body fat at least. But you want to be lean, you want to see your abs, you want to see certain things. So when you're building, working on your back, your legs, your arms, your weak points, you can see everything that's going on, those line associations, those little details you're trying to bring up and out. You need to be able to see those things so you can work on them and grind them out. Because a lot of times people's fat distribution has their weaknesses. And sometimes it even distorts what their weaknesses are. So they're thinking something's strong when it's weak. Something is weak when it's really strong, depending on how it is. Now, a big place that definitely happens for people is the legs, right? because their legs hold so much fat and water, and then they come down, they really have like little skinny boy legs, right? Or like they think they have a flare and they don't, or all they have is a flare like me. I mean, even though mine are pretty good, I mean, they're mostly vastus lateralis, right? So I work up the medialis and all of that. So, and of course, vastus longus, vastus medialis, and of course, anything the medium of the body is the center line, right? So that's going to help you guys out. So when I say medialis, it's literally part of the muscle that's down the center of the body. Also, that teardrop and all that. I have to work and bring that stuff up, bring the details. That's really what I need to focus on primarily when I'm hitting legs, right? So just be warned, even calves get people, because people's calves get fat on them. Some people store a lot of fat within the muscle, which actually can help because you got nutrients in the muscle, helps those muscles grow a lot better. That's why I like the habits with like a lot of, I would say African Americans, I don't want to say black people because there's all different types of black people with different genetic sets. But you know, when I say black people, I mean like African Americans specifically, being that largely they are from, they're of West African descent, and Jamaicans and stuff like that, and even like the blacks in Brazil. So anybody in the New World and all that stuff. So those are West African descent, I should say, typically have that. So the muscle contracts. The muscle has those nutrients and stuff in the muscle, so they grow a little bit better and they look a little bit fuller. So you don't always have to be as lean even to, and the muscle belts are usually round already, but you don't have to be as lean even just to have that pop and a look, have a certain good look to you. But other people just have it on the outside of the muscle, or it goes over the muscle, subcutaneous. And that's, for me, I consider that a little bit worse because then you really are hiding a lot of what you have because it's covered by a layer and it makes you fill out those shirts and stuff. And some people hold water. Like, I'm not a big person that holds water, right? I don't hold a lot of water generally, so I don't have that issue with that kind of distortion, but you can't see what's going on. So you're training and you're working out and you cut and you don't look anything like you want to look. So that's a huge issue. A lot of people run into those issues. But here's something: if you can't stay lean enough to see those things, then you cut and get lean and take pictures. Take pictures in the 12 mandatories. Take pictures in the relaxed poses. Take pictures just standing there, not just like relaxed, but just literally standing there from all angles, so you can see. And then when you're making your improvements during, we call it the bulk season or the improvement season, whatever time you set aside, you actually can see what's going on. You know what's going on, and you could focus on those. That's why, if anybody's been following me for years, knows I end up with a lot of pictures on my back and stuff because I can't see my back, right? So I always take those pictures and then I look at them and I focus on what I want to bring up. And then as things come up and improve, focus on other areas. So that's it. I'm not going to take you guys through the rest of this. The cardio session is over. I started 2 minutes into it. I didn't want to make a long video, but I did. If you followed along, thank you. If you didn't follow along, it's all right and it's okay because I'm still going to be putting out content. This is just me rambling, but if you got questions, ask questions in the comment section. I will answer them either on video or in the comment section. Subscribe and watch the other content. On that.